Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. I've got an interesting video for you today. We're going to talk about the 2022 Honda Monkey, and in today's video, we're going to change the oil and the oil filter. Some of the things that you'll need for this process is a quart of oil. This is empty right now. That's because I'm going to fill it with this GN4 10W30 oil. So we'll need 1 quart of that. We have a cleaning rag. I have a small block of wood. I have a replacement oil filter. This is the Honda Monkey oil filter. I have a 3/8 ratchet, and I have 2 sockets. I've got a 12mm and I have an 8mm. Now, since my 8mm is 1/4 inch drive, I have a 3/8 down to 1/4 inch reducer. So that's all you're gonna need to change the oil on this bike. Obviously, you see my ice cream bucket. That's for me to drain the old oil into. Now, before you drain the oil, I highly recommend that you warm the bike up for 5 to 10 minutes. That'll get everything nice and warmed up, and it'll help the oil flow out a lot easier. Now, this is a 2022 model, and you can tell by these 2 bolts and this round thing on the side of the crankcase housing. Inside of there is an oil filter. 2019, 20, and 21 Honda Monkeys did not have these 2. This is an addition to the 2022 lineup. We're gonna go ahead and open this up here. This is the oil fill. Now, if you have one of those previous year Honda Monkeys, to change the oil or to clean the filter, you have to take all these bolts off and split this crankcase cover. There's a gasket there, and you can get to the spinner inside, and on the bottom right down here there's a little screen, but on 2022 we don't have to do that. Another thing to make note of right here is the sight glass, and you can see the level of the oil. If I tilt the bike and get it kind of level, you'll see the oil inside. See that? So you'll see there's 2 lines. There's a low line and there's a high line, and we want the oil level to be somewhere between those lines when we're finished. I've taken this oil fill cap off because I don't want this housing to create a vacuum and make it hard for the oil to come out. This oil change and filter process only takes 1 US quart of oil. Now, from the side of the bike, if you look right down here, I am touching the drain plug. That's the plug that you'll take out to drain the oil. So underneath, it's that guy right there. We're gonna take that out and drain the oil. To get right there. There we go. And we'll just remove that, holding it up towards the bike so that it doesn't just fall into the bucket until we're ready for it to fall. Okay, I can feel that I'm on the last threads, so I'm gonna just remove my hand out of the way real quick, and hopefully I won't get oil all over myself. There we go. Now you can see that the oil is draining. Very nice. Very easy, straightforward process. You can take that block of wood and prop it right underneath the kickstand. And as you can see, we got a little bit more oil flow coming out because we centered the bike a little bit more. We leveled the bike. Just be careful when you put that piece of wood underneath the kickstand that you don't actually accidentally push the bike all the way over to where it falls or something like that. So we'll just continue to wait until we see that oil come to a stop. Okay, now that the oil has came to a stop, we're gonna focus on this oil filter area. I've changed my socket. I've got my 8mm on there. We're gonna break these loose. Have your rag ready because there's a good chance that oil will leak from this area. So if we move our bucket to where it's still catching the drips, but where it's underneath this oil filter, that'll be a good move for us. So we'll just take these two 8mm bolts out, set them on the ground, don't lose them, and just I'm using my thumb to kind of push against the oil filter. And as you saw there, when I released from the bike, you saw the oil come out. So there's the cover, and as you can see, there's the oil filter inside and a little spring. And then around this cover, you can see there's an O-ring. We want to inspect this O-ring and make sure that this O-ring is still good to go. Make sure that it's not bad, make sure it's not worn down. And if you want to replace this O-ring, you can, but it's not required. You don't have to. If it's good, you don't need to. So I'm just going to clean this cover. And my O-ring looks okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. From here, we're going to pull the spring out. That's what the spring looks like. And then the oil filter itself. So we'll just pull this old one out. And we'll take a quick look and see if it's clean, if it's dirty. What does it look like? It says right on the side, this side towards engine. You see that little rubber piece right there? That's kind of nice because you don't have to have an O-ring like on some bikes. So that's what the oil filter looks like. It's very simple. It says outside, put this side towards the filter cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that aside. We're going to take our rag and we're going to clean out this area and get rid of any of that dirt or oil. Clean it out, make it nice and pretty inside. Very good. Just like that. And now we'll take the brand new oil filter and we'll insert that in. Genuine Honda part. So there's a look at the brand new oil filter, and again it says this side towards engine and outside. So we're going to just slip that right over that little stud on the inside. We're going to just slip it right over there, and then from here we will take the cover and spring. We'll put the spring right in the middle of the filter, and the spring will correspond to this notch on the cover. So again, we'll put our thumb against it a little bit. We'll see if we can get that thing like so, and then we'll reinstall these 8mm bolts. So I'm going to tighten one down finger tight if I can, and the whole time I'm pushing against it with my thumb. And then from here we're going to tighten it. Now these two bolts do not have to be crazy tight. It's about 7 foot-pounds, but I'm just going to use a little common sense. We have steel bolts going into an aluminum housing. We don't want to over tighten these. We don't want to accidentally strip those holes out, but that's all there is to changing out the oil filter. It's very simple. At this point, we're going to inspect the crush washer on the oil drain plug, and if it's okay, you can reuse it. If not, you can see I have a replacement right here. So in my case, my crush washer is fine. It's okay, so I'm going to reuse it. And at this point, we are going to reinstall the oil drain plug. We're going to put it back in. And now I can move the oil bucket out of the way. We'll go from the 8mm socket back to the 12mm socket and tighten this bad boy up. Same thing applies here. This does not have to be gorilla tight, only monkey tight. From here, we can go ahead and put our funnel in and fill with 1 quart of GN4 10W30 motorcycle oil. That's this stuff right here. It's good oil. I buy it by the gallon and save quite a bit of money. So we're gonna go ahead and fill it up with oil. Takes 1 quart and you'll be good to go. Now we'll take the funnel out, replace the oil fuel cap. Just let it run for a couple of minutes. And now that the bike's had a little bit of chance to run, I'm gonna kind of tilt the bike back to level, and I'm checking the oil level on the sight glass. And as you can see, we are within those two lines, within the low and high lines. So the oil level is perfect. Well folks, I want to say thank you for joining me today on this video, changing the oil and the oil filter on a 2022 Honda Monkey. It's a very simple process. I hope this video helped you out. Please feel free to leave comments down below, like this video, share this video, and if you want to see some adventures on the 2022 Honda Monkey, I'm going to be doing a lot of them. So with all that being said folks, I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.